Shabbat Shalom. This is the day that the Most High has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad. I will be the preacher. It indeed is a blessing to come before you again today to give testimony and declare the name of Yahuwah in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, his son. We love him and we truly glorify his name. Hero Yahshua, the Most High, our Elohim, is a God. Thank him for this day that's assigned between us and him, and we glorify him. We love him, we worship him in spirit and in truth. We're truly living in apocalyptic times. We're truly living at a time where biblical prophecy is being fulfilled, and more than likely we are the fig tree generation that has seen a lot of the latter prophecies being fulfilled. That designates and determines that we would be the generation that would see the return of the Messiah when he breaks through the firmament. We still have some things that need to transpire before he comes, but he's not going to make it that easy for you to know the day, the time, and to see the hour. No. You see, what's happening now is we don't quite know how to look through and read through the transliterations that man has tried to tamper with the scrolls to make it confusing and to hide these things through the works of Satan. So it really takes the Ruach HaKadosh to help you to understand, because he says, I'll do nothing in the earth unless I reveal it to my prophets first. And your leading and your guiding and your discernment and your understanding must come through the Ruach that will help you to understand the end times and how to navigate through this terrain, how to find your way through the wilderness, and you have to be obedient. So that takes an act of submission to your life every day. You know, on the Shabbat, we like to exhort and encourage, because in these last days it can get tough. There's a lot of demonic attacks, oppression, depression, radio frequencies, transmissions of different ideas, and a lot of bitterness, hatred, envy. All these things are transpiring and taking place. And as they're transpiring and taking place, we have to somehow or another maintain our joy, our integrity, our peace, and our focus. So I like to, outside of the terrain right now that's so busy gossiping, attacking, fighting one another, competing against one another. I'm seeing, like, on social media content, that the focus is all wrong. We need to come together, but it's not so much these communal and communities. It's the fact that strengthening one another through this terrain, because the attack will be against the children of Yahshua. They don't tell you that anymore, because they know that they have victims of casualties. There's always going to be victims of war. They're going after every race now. And it's really about a caste system. And are you a part? But the ultimate goal is to destroy the children of Israel. Yasharal, not to be confused with the Khazars and the ones that are the imposters that are converts. And in doing so, we need to come together and to work together. But even if that's not possible, the spirit of unity must be there as you sojourn the terrain alone, even if you have to. And so my desire is to encourage, edify, and exhort, even if it reaches only one person, because I'm not worried about numbers, likes, and subscriptions. A long time ago, I gave that up. So I'm going to go into a series called The End Time Apocalypses. It's a series it's a number of books and scrolls that have been purposely hidden so that you will not have them during these hours, these days. Books like the Book of Enoch, the Apocalypse of Elijah, mostly all the books called the Apocalypse that start with the Apocalypse of Elijah, Apocalypse of Abraham, Apocalypse of John, Apocalypse of Isaiah, Apocalypse of Paul. I could go on and on and on, but we're going to do some reading from those books because they are pinpoint spot on with what's happening today, where we are, and what's transpiring, and what we need to do, and the vein we need to be in. And hopefully, some of it will uh, shake your very essence as it did mine, because there's one book called the Book of Adaman that talks about the judgments of the real world to come, because this is just the matrix. You're just transversing through this to determine if you really love the Most High and how you desire to spend your life in eternity when He comes and when you leave this earth. That's what you're doing. And there's many tests that come your way, and then you have to have self-control. Everything you do, every decision you make, these major decisions have an impact. Judgment, uh, it alters things. It changes the terrain right before you. Kids don't realize just simply the fact of them dishonoring their parents is hindering them from receiving certain blessings and going down certain roads, because you can't be blessed by the Creator when you are violating one of His universal laws that was created before the foundation of the plane called Earth. You can't expect for things to always go right. No, that's not the way He determined it to be, because He has an order. Succinctly, these souls came from a place that was next to the Creator in proper order, and He knew what spirit, what soul would come through another spirit and soul as a mother and father, and that order has to be respected. And when it's thrown out of order, there cannot be any blessings. It's just like the marital order of 1 Corinthians 11. There's an order that the Creator has that's divine, that when it's thrown out of whack, it throws everything else out of whack. And it's something that we call blessings and curses. No, but what happened is you've altered the preset conditions that would lead to a so-called blessed life, godly life. No, what it is it's order. Order is peace. Peace, order, tranquility. That's what that is. Not a false peace. Not a peace that's controlling, but the peace where everything is in order. And so I say all that to say what I was saying about the children, just to make an analogy that when things get out of order, even with your body, and there's things being hidden from you about your body. And I'm just kind of talking before I get into the first book of the End Time Apocalypse. This series is going to go for a while, and I think I need to stay here because we are in the end times before I get into it. And we're going to cover wisdom in the book of Proverbs, the 8th chapter. But I just wanted to kind of share some thoughts with you as to where we are, so that you're not so distracted by social media and social content. I hope you're understanding the construct of the synergistic effect of the beast system that's enshrouded all around you, that has not been tied up. All the pieces have not been tied together so that you can see them. So you're distracted from seeing the synergy. Now, you know what the synergy is? Okay, you don't. It's when various components come together to form one common goal. And they have different aspects that they are responsible for. You right now don't see how CBDC is connected to quantum computing, and the quantum computing is connected to the Internet of Bodies. You don't see it yet, but soon enough you will. But by then it'll be too late. You don't see how this is all intertwined with smart cities. You're not seeing it yet. And when it all comes together, by that time, it's too late. And this takes me back to what I said earlier. We're not going to endure until the end if we don't have the Ruach, which navigates us through this terrain. The books, there's so many false teachings and understandings out there of interpretations of the transliterations of these books, how they've been altered, man has taken away and added. And then people want to still intermingle religious aspect and commentary into the relationship with the Father. And what do I mean by that? Majority of all your religions were started in the 1800s. And they were meant to control and confuse and put back in slavery the children of Yahshua. And the majority of all the founders of every religion you can name to me were racist, free Masons who served the God of this world, Lucifer, who's talked about in 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, and his minions that are here to blind the people. 2 Corinthians 4:4, whom the gods of this world have blinded the minds of them. Did you not know that every other nation in this society has a fallen angel that is their God, that is over them? Let me give you an analogy. There's more scriptures I can give you, but one that comes to mind is Daniel, the 10th chapter, where the prince of Persia was a demon that had a geofence, if you will, around a particular region. And Daniel prayed, and it took 21 days for his answer to come through that geofence, because outside of the parameters of that geofence, that demon spirit watched over that city, there was a fight going on to keep the answer coming from heaven to Daniel to say that the Father heard you. And this happens with a lot of us. Our prayers don't get answered right away because there's a spiritual battle in the airwaves, frequencies, AI that's transducing and blocking, and you won't even know or hear. And the thing about it is that most people couldn't even wait 21 days to get an answer for a prayer because we want everything now. We have. That's why we're special people unto this world. And it seems that nobody likes for one person to be that special person. It's called sibling rivalry. Sometimes you just have to get over it. It is what it is. So before we start the end time apocalypses, I think today I want to go from I think I'm going to start from the apocalypse of Elijah. And I'm going to start at chapter 2 instead of chapter 1. Now, I'll start from the beginning. There's so much out of this book I want to share with you. I want to go to the book of Adaman because I may bring some of that out because it's so revealing. When you hear about the different levels of torment, and even for some of those that are going into the kingdom, based upon the things that you did while you were on the earth, it will change your walk with the Most High and make you become more circumspect and sober and diligent to be vigilant and not want to be committing sin and keeping the laws. This is serious stuff here. When graduation day comes, which is your so-called day of death, or the day you transition, that's all it really is, because your spirit never dies. All your loved ones are still out there. They're either being tormented or they're waiting for the hour that they'll be back in their bodies and they'll live on the earth eternal. They're not dead, so to speak. And then you get to hear in these books, you get to hear instances in these books where they remember some of the ones that they see up there. The ones that go into torment and go into hell, they get to see all the goodness that they missed out on. But you also know that they kind of have a sense of what's going on with you in the earth, but they don't know everything. And I hope when I read that, it kind of gives you a peace to stop pausing on death, weeping, sorrow, and gnashing, because you have really got to live your own life, because you're going to be judged on all your deeds and efforts. And I pray that they not be based upon religious activities, but upon obedience to Yah. So before we get into the apocalypse of Elijah, let me read about wisdom, because wisdom is the Ruach HaKadosh, which, as I stated, you're going to need to make it through, because the transliteration of the books and the lies and the way people are falsely teaching this word, some of these people are not even teachers, they're influencers, and you listen to them. Like this one guy with a big community that calls himself a pastor with his 4 wives. He's not a teacher. He is not a teacher. He's not a teacher. But there's a lot of people that hang on his every word. It means they're being mistaught. One thing I'll tell you about a true teacher, a true preacher, a true prophet, you're not going to like one word that comes out of their mouth because it's going to cut the hell out of you. And I literally mean the hell. You're not going to like it at all. It's going to be life altering and changing. And a true teacher enlightens you to the point where your life changes because they give you precept upon precept. So it changes your life because you've been enlightened to precepts in a way that you never saw them before. So now you see why there's so many false teachers out there, because that's not happening when you listen to people. You got celebrities out here. Most High don't play when it comes to the Ruach, because that is the female essence of him. And many say she is like the wife, as above, so below. Father, Son, Ruach HaKadosh. And he said that that's the one thing you will not be forgiven for, is if you blaspheme. That's the same way a lot of men are about their mama, their woman, or whatever, because that's the gentle side of them that they nurture and protect. So let's listen to this. And then we'll get into the other book. Proverbs 8:1. Doth not wisdom cry and understanding put forth her voice? How come you never saw that in Proverbs? Her voice. She standeth in the top of high places by the way, in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men. See, clear distinction. There's she and there's men. I guess the transliterators, they overlook this, because they would have definitely changed it, because they want there to be a triune, three-man headed position that they have you to misunderstand. Nevertheless, I digress. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. She's calling men. O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Hear, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. This is very important that you listen to the Ruach in this hour. This is why Solomon was one of the greatest kings of all times, because all he asked for was wisdom, who has been there from the beginning of the foundations of the earth, creation, even creation of the angels, creation of the Messiah, all on the second day. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. Now, why would you not want that spirit to walk with you and be within you? Because there's no wickedness that will come out of a person's mouth when the Ruach is controlling. Because no wickedness can come out of the Ruach HaKadosh's mouth. So if the Ruach HaKadosh is in you, then all wickedness to you would also be an abomination. 8th verse. All the words of my mouth, all are in righteousness. There is nothing froward or perverse in them. So this is something for you to do a check on yourself and to check on other people who you hear talk or preach or teach. Because if the Ruach is truly there, the words will be words of righteousness, and there'll be nothing froward or perverse. Verse 9. They are all plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that find knowledge. Receive, this is why you should always want more knowledge. Verse 10 goes right into it. Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So the Holy Spirit is saying, I know of the things that society is doing to you with their witty inventions, and I have the ability to give you new ideas in the night of inventions and how to create things and what to do and how to make your next move. 13, the fear of Yahuwah is to hate evil. The fear of Yahuwah is to hate evil. The fear of Yahuwah is to hate evil. I hate evil, to hate pride, to hate arrogancy and the evil way. And the froward mouths do I hate. We must hate what the Father hates. And he hates pride. He hates arrogant people. He hates people that do evil things and froward mouth. Let me pause because most people are not getting forward. So let's take a look at it from the dictionary. It's not forward, it's forward. And it says stubbornly contrary and disobedient and obstinate, not willing to yield or comply with what is required or is reasonably perverse and peevish. That's forward, so you understand. 14, counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. She is really talking to let you know you need me with you at all times. 15, by me kings reign and princes decree justice. There are no kings or princes unless the Most High allows it. He'll sit down who he wants to when he gets ready to. These evil minions are serving to work a purpose that's been predestined in order because the whole earth has been turned over to the wicked for a season and a period of time due to the court of law. It's not going to last forever. But it's also that he may see what you're going to choose because you have free will. If I give you free will and you choose me and you turn your back on evil and the essence and pleasures and joys of this world, then I know you truly are my disciple. Say it would be easy. It's not. But is it worth it? You're building character inside your own self and worthiness of the kingdom. Your brother, the Messiah, faced a certain death, and he did it for you. 16, by me princes rule and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early in the morning. Not when your lazy butt gets up at 11, but those that can fall on their knees at 6 a.m. and say, give me wisdom, show me your ways, lead me and guide me. Be not far from me, renew a right spirit within me. Verse 18, riches and honor are with me. Riches and honor are with me, the Ruach. Yea, durable riches and righteousness. That's all with her. Not for you trying to concoct a plan to figure out how I'm going to make it and take care of my family and get some money, get some paper, stack my. No, you need to be seeking the kingdom and seeking the Ruach, wisdom, to be with you, not far from you. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I led in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, for I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. Yahuwah possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. He possessed her from the beginning of all that he created when he says his way, before his works. Verse 23, she says, wisdom, I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. I was set up before the earth even came into being. Do you know how magnanimous it is to have a spirit in you that existed before creation? saw, and knows everything, that means inside you lies all the answers to the world. You don't even understand that once it's in you, you have the ability to tap into it and let it speak through you, flow through you, teach you, show you. Just go there with me for a minute. Inside me is something that existed before the beginning. So if that spirit saw it and it's in me, it's in my DNA. All I have to do is tap into it. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there was no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. Sound like somebody's woman bragging. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the water should not pass his commandment, talking about the sands, where the sea is obedient, where it will not go past the sand. Roaring waves will come crashing, but they stop at the sand. Unless there's judgment and he's furious and he sends a flood. When he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight. Ain't no man gonna say that to another man. It's the feminine spirit letting you know that the Most High kept the Ruach. The Ruach, where it says in 8:2, she standeth in the top of high places. Skip to 20, to get an understanding of Ruach and who she was. And it's been right here. 31, let's read some more. This is fascinating. Rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth. It's clearly denoting gender. I was his delight. You're not going to have no man being his delight, because that would sanction your LGBTQ. So stop playing. She would rejoice in the habitable part of this earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. 33, hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. So when you get these instructions, it's the Ruach trying to tell you something. It's up to you. Listen. 34, blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates. Pause, go back. And it says, she standeth in the top of high places by the way places of path, and she crieth at the gates. Verse 3, skip to 34. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me, find life, and shall obtain favor of Yahuwah, our Elohim. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. When you hate wisdom, when you hate that conscience tapping you on the shoulder, telling you not to do it, when you shun instructions that come in the night dreams, when you shun that voice that's telling you to do wrong, when you talk back to the Ruach and say, no, I don't care, based upon your anger, your emotions, everything else, when you shun the Ruach, he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. Every temptation is a way of escape. And I know you heard the voice. I'm going to leave that there. I just wanted to go through Proverbs, the 8th chapter, real quick, so you could see how phenomenal our Creator is, who the Ruach is. I almost need to take a break on that before I go into the next part, because that is so powerful. That's why he said, don't blaspheme my Holy Spirit. Don't speak against her. I'm talking against her. She's my delight. She dances before me. Are you kidding me? That's right there in your King James. Proverbs, the 8th chapter. Wow. So that's why David would say, please take not thy Holy Spirit away from me. You're not going to make it unless you keep the Holy Spirit in you. Because there's a plethora of demons out here now that are waiting to get in you. They're just waiting on the opportunity. Just rubbing their hands and licking their lips. Talking about, give me one chance. Like that Biggie song, one more chance. Give me one more chance. Baby, baby, give me one more chance. You don't even know what you be listening to half the time on the radio. It's demonic to let that old spirit of sin come back inside you. Because they're not letting go. They're playing for keeps. Because their destruction is drawing nigh. Satan and his kingdom. The only one who's believing the lie that's been lied to are the men that are demon-possessed Freemasons and signing pacts to worship Satan because they think their kingdom, this new technocracy, and their one world order is coming into play. They're the ones that think they can win and that they're going to win. They think they can win and they're going to win. Satan and his demons know they're not going to win. It's the ones that have signed over in blood and sworn to worship Satan that think they have a possibility to win. The demons, when Christ came into the tomb, the graves, they said, have you come to torment us before our time? Is it time? They know they're in, and they know it's soon. The only deceived fools are the ones that worship Satan on this earth and sacrifice babies and drink blood. They think they have a chance to win, and you're seeing it right now with their technology and their technocracy. They think they have the most witty inventions to destroy man and Yasharal. They think they found us. They're playing with genetics, DNA, optogenetics, all these things they're doing. Bioconvergence, they're playing with all this stuff. They think they can win. And the devil that they worship is laughing at them because he's got them to believe his story. He's like, I just see. I got it. Okay, I'm going to do the Apocalypse of Elijah, and I'll do the first 2 chapters. But before I do that, let me let you see something that'll be coming up. The revelation of St. John, the theologian. This is the type of things that you'll be hearing as I read this out of this book. In the apocalyptic book of St. John, the theologian, before I read Elijah, this is talking about John's transcendence into heaven. And he said, he went up into, I just want you to hear this real quick. He who was set apart in the darkness, who was called the Antichrist. And I said, Lord, reveal to me, what is he like, the Antichrist? You got a camp out here that teaches there is no Antichrist. There won't be no one Antichrist. When you got every nation on this earth sitting up here waiting on one man to come. And it's a part of the deception because people are going to worship this Antichrist because they're looking for an answer because the turmoil on this earth is going to be so great. So I can't stand these deceivers out here telling these lies to my people to throw them off so that you're looking the wrong way. You're anointed by Satan, sir. Listen to what, I want you to hear this real quick because these are the type of things they took out of the book. Somebody's getting ready to give John in his apocalypse a description of what the Antichrist will look like. And again, Lord, I said, reveal to me, what is he like? And I heard a voice saying to me, the appearance of his face is dusky. The hairs of his head, the hair, are sharp like darts. And his eyebrows like wild beasts. His right eye like the star which rises in the morning, and the other like a lion's. His mouth about 1 cubit, his teeth span long. His finger are like scythes. The print of his feet are 2 spans, and on his face an inscription, Antichrist. And he shall be exalted even to heaven, and shall be cast down even to Hades, making false displays. And then will I make the heaven brazen, so that it shall not give moisture. He just gave an Antichrist with he just gave a description of what the Antichrist looks like. I know I was picturing this, and I know I picture someone, but I'm not going to say it. You can say who it sounds like to you. But there's a description of things to look for. I'm not going to really waste my time because I'm not worshiping no man anyway. And it seems to me that it would be obvious that the whole world is worshiping this person, and that hopefully you'll know not to worship him. Another quick picture before I read the two. I wanted you to see the book of Adamnon's book. And I want to read something out of there so you'll see just coming attractions I'm doing right now. Reading out of verse 21, it said, after that his guardian angel had revealed to Adamnon's, we all have guardian angels, wrote a song about it. You can hear it on the YouTube. We all have a guardian angel. And that angel will collect you when you get ready to make your transition and take you through these little different tunnels of judgment and visions, and you'll go on a journey. It said the spirit visions, his guardian took him to see visions of the heavenly kingdom and of the first progress of every soul after parting from its body. He brought him to visit the nethermost hell with all its pains and its crosses and torments. Now the first region whereunto he came was a land burnt black, waste, and scorched, but with no punishment at all. Therein a glen filled with fire was on the further side of it, huge, the flame of it extending beyond the margin on either hand. Black its base, red the middle and the upper part thereof. 8 serpents were in it with eyes like coals of fire. An enormous bridge spans the glen, reaching from one bank to the other. The book of Adamnon is going to really enlighten you, probably change your whole fear of death. These are books that Satan hid because he didn't want you to understand. The earth, the world has a concept of death here, like it's the end all. There's nothing after death, and that you can just live any kind of way you want and enjoy this kingdom and don't even worry about the aftermath. They just want you to think a certain way, and that's why I'm going to get into that book so that you can see it just begins when you transcend. You go into the next realm, somewhat like the realm you're in when you're sleeping, you're dreaming, because the soul never sleeps, spirit never sleeps. The body gets tired at night and it says, I need to regenerate myself. So it lays itself down, but not the spirit and soul, it soars. And the book of Job, might be the 25th chapter, says that a lot of times he seals us up with instructions, information, and knowledge. That's why a lot of times we don't remember our dreams, because it wasn't meant for us to remember what he's mentioned to us, or the angels have showed us. It was to alter to rest our traverse on the earth, or to give us an answer on how to deal with certain things. And then there's times that we have complete remembrance of our entire dream, because it's something we're supposed to prophesy, tell, preach, know, or look for an interpretation. Okay, let's go into the apocalypse of Elijah, first chapter, first verse. The word of Yahuwah came to me saying, Son of man, say to his people, why do you add sins to your sins and anger? Let's not forget, let me pause. All of this is for a remote generation, meaning us. These prophets were prophesying 4,000, 6,000 years ahead of their time and trying to describe things that they were seeing, such as cars, drones, missiles, in their vernacular and verbiage for that time. Don't love the world or the things which are in the world, for the boasting of the world and its destruction belong to the devil. Remember that the Lord of glory, who created everything, had mercy upon you so that he might save us from the captivity of this age. For many times the devil desired not to let the sun rise above the earth and to let the earth yield fruit, since he desires to consume men like a fire which rages in stubble, and he desires to swallow them like water. Yes, he's definitely trying to block out the sun with his chemtrails and give us GMOs so there will be no fruit. He wants to kill us. It's not just Esau who's obeying him and helping him create these things, but it comes from Satan who wants the children of Israel dead. Verse 5. Therefore, on account of this, the Adonai of glory had mercy upon us, and he sent his son to the world so that he might save us from the captivity. He did not inform an angel or an archangel or any principality when he was about to come to us, but he changed himself to be like a man when he was about to come to us, so that he might save us from flesh. Therefore, become sons to him, since he is a father to you. I pause. Go to the apocalypse of Isaiah, and you see that when Yeshua HaMashiach, the Son, came down through the heavens, when he got to each heaven, his appearance and countenance changed to look like the angels of that level, so they wouldn't recognize him coming because he came stealthily to the earth. And this is just such a miracle for you to try to understand. It was his spirit and his soul, which has the form of the body that you possess when you come to the earth. He didn't want the demons or the angels or no one to recognize his entrance into the earth and into the body that was prepared for him. Even Christ said, "Thou hast prepared a body for me." That's why I don't get into the argument of how the body came into being. Was it miraculous? Was it conception of Joseph? Listen, the body was prepared, but the essence of who he really was came down to live in that body. And we understand this from Jeremiah 1 and 5. Before I was formed in my mother's belly, thou knew me, and thou sent me, called me to be a prophet to the nations. So the essence of you. So he came down through each level, and the angels and nobody recognized him. Satan didn't see him coming and recognize him. And next thing you know, the son was born. And they like, oh, he got us. There's nothing Satan can do to outsmart the Father. Let's keep going. Apocalypse of Elijah, chapter 1, verse 8. Remember that he has prepared thrones and crowns for you in heaven, saying, everyone who will obey me will receive thrones and crowns among those who are mine. The Most High said, I will write my name upon their forehead, and I will seal their right hand, and they will not hunger or thirst. Neither will the son of lawlessness prevail over them, nor will the thrones under them, but they will walk with the angels up to my city. You're already spoken for if you're living right and you know he's got a seal on you. You don't need a prepper to guide you, lead you, tell you what to pack, storing up all this stuff, living out of fear. Are you his or are you not? A lot of you doubt if you're his because you know you're not right. So check yourself. Let's keep going. They will be shamed and they will not pass by the thrones, but the thrones of death will seize them and rule over them because the angels will not agree with them. They have alienated themselves from his dwelling. Who is that? It said, now as for the sinners, those that sin. Who are sinners? Those who don't want to keep the law. Sorry to say that. There's a lot of people that know about the law and say, look, God's been good to me my whole life. I ain't had to keep no laws. I'm going to eat this pork. My grandmama ate this pork. If you know that that pork is sin and you continue to eat it, for him that knoweth to do right and doeth it not, to him it is a sin. That is you overriding the ruach that's telling you, don't do this. It's not good for you. And you do it anyway. You can only do that for so long. Now, I can't say what's going to happen to you, but when we get into the book of Adam 9, it talks about there will be some people who will be forgiven and make it into the kingdom, but they're going to pay a price for the sins that they habitually did. Verse 13, hear, O wise men of the land, concerning the deceivers who will multiply in the last times, so that they will set down for themselves doctrines which do not belong to Yah, setting aside the law of Yah. Those who have made their belly their God, saying the fast does not exist, nor did God created, making themselves strangers to the covenant of the Most High and robbing themselves of the glorious promises. Now, these are not ever correctly established in the firm faith. Therefore, don't let those people lead you astray. Don't let them Christians lead you astray. Don't let them people that tell you you don't have to keep the law lead you astray. If he calls you one of the city, two of the family, there's only going to be a few And it's going to be rare if anybody agrees with you. Verse 15, remember that from the time when he created the heavens, the Most High created the fast for a benefit to men on account of the passions and desires which fight against you. So the fasting is a benefit. That's why it's coming out. And even the FDA and World Health Organization is fighting against intermittent fasting because they're saying it could cause heart failure. That's a lie. You're going to find out about fasting. The Most High created it as a benefit to men on account of passions and desires which fight against you, so that evil will not inflame you. The only way evil's not going to inflame you is by you fasting to control these passions and desires. But it is a pure fast which I have created, said the Most High. The one who fasts continually will not sin, although jealousy and strife are within him. If you fast continually, you will not sin. That means you're supposed to be fasting every week, if not every day. Those who fast continually will not sin. Hello? So 18 says, let the pure one fast, but whenever the one who fasts is not pure, he has angered Yahuwah and also the angels. So that means you're wasting your time fasting if you're not pure in heart, genuine intent, forgiving to others. You can't just do a fast and you're not right, not living right, mistreating certain people or having anger in your heart, unforgiveness. That fast is a waste of time. You anger the Most High and also the angels, and he has grieved his soul, gathering up wrath for himself for the day of wrath. All you've done is gathered up more wrath for yourself in the day of wrath that's going to come against you for having gone into a fast just to starve yourself and not going into it right. But a pure fast is what I created with a pure heart and pure hands. It releases sin, it heals diseases, and it casts out demons. So some of this stuff, ain't no supplements gonna help you. You need to fast. It says it releases sin and it heals diseases and it casts out demons. The number one healer is fasting. I can't get over, brothers and sisters, what he said. He said, I gave you the benefit of fasting because I know about your passions and desires. And then I can't get over the fact that he says, the one who will fast continually will not sin. But be mindful of the scriptures after that said it must be pure. If you got bitterness, anger, breaking the laws, you're bringing wrath upon yourself. And it's a waste of time. This is in the apocalypse of Elijah for the end times. So we're supposed to be fasting more. You worry about having enough food in case the inflation and the prices and everything goes up? No, you need to be eating less. Like I just said, if not every day fasting, once a week fasting. It has to be now because this is the last days. This is why he brought it up. I read this in Isaiah the 58th chapter in the King James and a few other places about fasting and these kind cometh out but by fasting and prayer. We know about that in the book of Matthew. But you got Elijah, the apocalypse of Elijah in the last days saying, you need to be doing this more often in the last days. And bringing out the fact that the Most High said, this is the benefit I've given you to deal with all that stuff that comes at you. Because see, now we're fighting against this stuff because it's in the atmosphere. If you understood your body's electric and it's a frequency that picks up frequencies, it's a transceiver and a receiver, then you need to understand something. All the mess and perverseness that's being emitted in the atmosphere that's being picked up like OnlyFans, pornography, cursing, murder, snuff films of people being killed on camera, literally. You have the ability to pick up those signals within your body, and that murdering and perverseness runs throughout your electrical system because you're a node on a computer. You can pick up this information. You don't understand how the body's made. You don't understand about the wide body area network that's called an aura. You've been told that chakras are demons, when in actuality, physiologically, they are connecting points inside your body where all your nerves and all the blood flows and connects to purify the blood and move back out to your body. And it's in 5 different areas in your body. It's not mysticism, but that's for another time, because that's over the top with you holier than thou people who are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You're all electrical. Fasting is so beneficial because it cleanses the system. Do you think that all that food that you ingested is being not being transformed inside your body because it's being cooked by your body to feed the cells and your molecular person? The electronics inside your body, that food comes out of your body looking like a microwave sandwich, a sandwich you put in the microwave and put on for 10, 15, 20 minutes. It comes out what? Dark, black, burnt. And all the ingredients and nutrients that have been pulled out of it and sucked out of it, it's nothing but waste. And that's just how your body moves and operates with all these different systems. And that's why fasting is such a benefit, because you allow the system to detox and cleanse itself. And fasting is the benefit, and it helps you to get rid of the negative frequencies that are coming into your area. And then he said, I can't even believe if you fast continually, you will not sin. Although jealousy and strife are within you, you're trying to get rid of it. And then he says, and make sure it's pure. We have to become purified. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on this. Talking to myself again, because it says it heals all diseases. So the first thing is not to go grab Advil or start trying to drink all these different things. Probably the first thing you need to do when you feel any form of sickness is stop eating and put down the GMO, glyphosate covered vegetables, mRNA injected meat full of graphene. Stop eating and drink some water and flush and cleanse your system and let the healing begin. Let me read some more. Verse, furthermore, concerning the kings of Assyria and no, we're actually going into chapter 2. That was the end of the fasting. Let's do chapter 2 and then we'll be done. Furthermore, concerning the kings of Assyria and the dissolution of the heaven and the earth and the things beneath the earth. Now, therefore, those who are mine, listen to who was saying. Those who are mine, who have been predestined before the foundations of the earth, you will not be overcome in the end, says the Most High. Nor will they fear in the battle. Everything we see come on the earth, not afraid. When they see a king who rises in the north, Antichrist, who will be called the king of Assyria and the king of injustice, he will increase his battles and his disturbances against Egypt, Babylon. The land will groan together because your children will be sieged. Many will desire death in those days, but death will flee from them. And a king who will be called the king of peace will rise up in the west. He will run upon the sea like a roaring lion. He will kill the king of injustice. He will take vengeance on Egypt with battle and much bloodshed. And a vain gifting. He will give honors to the saints and to he will give vain gifts to the house of Yah. He will wander around in the cities of Babylon with guile, without their knowing. He will take count of the holy places. He will weigh the idols of the heathen. He will take count of their wealth. He will establish priests for them. He will command that the wise men and the great ones of the people be seized, and they will be brought to the metropolis, there is but one language. But when you hear peace and joy exists, and I tell you his signs so that you might know him. For he has 2 sons, one on his right and one on his left. The one on his right will receive a demonic face, and he will fight against the name of Yah. Now 4 kings will descend from that king, In his 13th year, he will come to Memphis and he will build a temple in the Memphis. On that day, his own son will rise up against him and kill him. Though the whole land will be disturbed. Okay, I'm going to pause on that because that needs further breakdown for the prophetic aspect of what he's saying and who that person is, and I don't want you to be confused on that. And I'm not going to go over. It's been about an hour today. I'm not going to go over an hour. Just let us bask in what we've already received. I don't want to do too much, go over the top, because you need to know who the king of Memphis is and who they're describing. Many of you thought that was Christ. That's talking about something else, and I don't want to bring any confusion or cause confusion. So most high willing, we'll pick up on that next week, or else we'll move to another important piece out of one of the books of the end time apocalypse. And these are scrolls that were left out, hidden, because it's all for a remote generation. Let me read them to you once again. The apocalypse of Abraham, the apocalypse of Moses, the 14th vision of Daniel, the apocalypse of Elijah, the fourth book of Ezra, powerful about the afterlife. The apocalypse of Shadrach, the Sibylline Oracles, book 2, the apocalypse of Zephaniah, the apocalypse of Baruch, the apocalypse of Thomas, the apocalypse of Peter, the apocalypse of James, the apocalypse of Paul, the revelation of St. John, 10 signs of the end of the age. That one's going to be really good. I may go to that one next week because it's a breakdown of 10 things to look for the end of this age, the time of Esau. The apocalypse of Samuel, the apocalypse of Zerubbabel, and the vision of Adamah. So we have a lot of information to cover, and since my focus is books about these end times, what we're living in, what we're going through to keep us awoke, because you're really being distracted. I'm going to stay right there. That's my vein for now, so that we'll have some ability to navigate this terrain and what we're going through. And I also pray that you'll go back and look at Proverbs, the 8th chapter, and understand she is wisdom, the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, that you should not ignore, and that you should seek her early, seek the Father early. Seek him and ask him to let her be with you. Seek the Father, seek the kingdom lies within you. And last week we read that in Acts 17, he don't dwell in no building made by hands. No, he's like, why would I? No, I don't dwell in no building because you built it with all this falsehood of these steeples and all this demonic stuff and symbology. I don't dwell there. I'm not there. He's not there. Find him within you. Let Ruach have her way with you. And where 2 or 3 come together in his name, he's in the midst. Draw closer to him. And remember, the only for sure obstacle to truth is to think that you already have it, because truth is a journey, not a destination. We're ever learning. And at the end of the day, we must fear the Most High and keep his commandments. Kwam Yasharala and Shabbat Shalom.